All right, welcome back. We are back to our vise part. So we've got our base, our jaw, and our keeper plate at the bottom. So now what we have left is a second keeper plate on the face here, the rod, which will be threaded, Acme threaded, and a knob. Hopefully we can get that all done in this video. So let's start with the rod itself, which will go in there. This will be definitely the easiest part. We're just going to create a sketch right here. Wait for that circle to appear, which means we're concentric. Draw our circle, and it will be 3/8 because we'll be using 3/8 12 Acme thread. So I'm just 0.375. Whoops, accidentally hit enter too soon. 0.375. So that will be our Acme thread. E to extrude, select both circles. And we'll start extruding this way. We don't want the sectional analysis on because that's going to get in the way right there. And as we can see, we're taking a cut this direction, but that's not exactly what we want because this is a rod. So we're going to do two sides. Extend this out. We'll extend that out 2 inches. New body, because this will be a new body. And to figure out how far in this way we're extending, it's kind of hard to see. So what we will do is make another sectional analysis. Back up to inspect, drop down, sectional analysis. I'm going to click this face here, move it to 1 inch, which is halfway through. Almost 1 inch, right there, 1 inch. All right, so this, I'm going to edit feature so I can continue dragging this. I don't want to bottom it out because that might be might cause binding later on. Actually, that looks pretty good for clearance wise. But I'm going to bring it back just a little bit. So for this, we're going to go to negative 4.375. Negative 4.375. All right, so that's where we want to be. As we can see, it's going to come out the other side. This is a new body, so we see 2 lines. The reason they are intersecting each other is because this is going to be threaded. This rod is going to be threaded on the outer diameter, and the hole will be threaded on the inner diameter. This is actually where our thread engagement will be. This can be modeled, but it just takes extra time and effort that really for the drafting process isn't necessary, especially if you're going to be the one machining it. So I'm not going to do anything about that. So that all looks good. Hit OK. That is what we want for that. So that will be thread rod. Name that so we can keep track of it. And we are done with that. So I'm going to turn my analysis off. This rod isn't completely done. We are going to have a notch in it. So looking at this now, again, I'm just kind of making this up as I go along. I will take a ring out of that section. So what I will do is turn off our base, which is this one right here, and turn on this sectional analysis so I can kind of see what's going on a little bit better. I am going to do another sketch on this face. It's going to pull me way out of line. So, circle, circle. This will be 0.187. And a second circle formed at 3/8 diameter, 0.375. So I want to make a cut, a groove in this rod. There's various ways to do this. This is kind of the quick and dirty way. It works though. So I'm going to hit E to extrude, select that face, pull it back, and I'm going to do two sides. Pull this face up till it's just under that face. So 3/8 would bring me up to that face, so 375. I'm at 370 right now. I'm going to give myself, actually 5 thousandths clearance is pretty good. But I will give myself, actually no, I'm going to stay with 5. 5 is good. All right, so that's 375. So I'm doing two differences. So the first one's 375. I want this groove to be 135 thousandths wide. So the first one is 375. 135 plus 375 will be negative 3, 4, 5, 505. 375, or 370 plus 1. Yeah, doing math in my head. Sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's slow. So, yeah, 135, correct. All right, or at least I think so. That will put a ring around this rod in the groove where we want it. So, cut, that's what we want. Okay. So, this has created a groove in our rod, which we can then slide a plate over, which will allow this to then be pulled back when the rod is retracted. So we'll take this sectional analysis off. We can bring our base back, and I'm going to turn the first sectional analysis back on, but I'm going to move it. So what I'm going to do is edit. I want it forward enough now that I can see this reduced section. All right, now the keeper plate. So we are going to do another sketch on this face. So for the keeper plate, we don't want it rubbing against the bottom of the vise, and we don't want it rubbing against this. So I'm going to start by a 2-point rectangle, and I'm going to draw it across, sketch dimension. I'm going to do 0.05. So give myself 50 thousandths of clearance along all the sides. So that's going to give me clearance. Now for the holes, we were going with 640. So again, I'm hovering till that circle appears, clicking and dragging. And I'm going to then equals constraint, equal, 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 equal. So now they all equal each other. So I need to know what the clearance over a 640 bolt is. I can Google that, or I can just go back to where we were in McMaster. 640, socket head cap screws, and we're going to be going with the 3/8 fine. Product details. Screw size 138. So I want to give myself like 10 thousandths over that. 148. We'll call it 150.15. And now they're all sized. Now I also need to make sure I have clearance over here. So for that, what I'm going to do is draw a circle centered on here. Dimension it to 200 thousandths, 0.2 for 200 thousandths. That's going to give me 64th of clearance over the rod, which should be plenty if we do everything right. Now I'm going to draw two lines down, and then I'm going to make a tangency. So right now they're just kind of hanging there, so I'm going to make them tangent to the circle. And that turned them white. Also, they're square down here. So that is actually the drawing we need. Now we're going to hit extrude. Select that and select this. So by not selecting this channel here or that circle, I can now pull that out. We'll make this 0.125. And I always hit enter without thinking all the way through. Edit feature, 125. We don't want join. We want new body. So this new body will be our next plate. So we can turn our sectional off. Whoops, off. Why do I keep... Gosh darn it. There we go. So we have a little bit of clearance here, a little bit on the other end. This will also have a groove that fits over, so we can slide this plate in, bolt it in place, and now we will have a plate. When the rod is retracted, we'll pull the jaw back. So that will be jaw plate. All right, so last thing we need is a knob. For the end, create sketch. We'll select the end down here. Circle, because we're going to go with a circular knob. You can make a handle, you can make whatever. So for that time, I actually missed what the center of that circle was, so it didn't auto-constrain. We can always come back here, drop down, concentric, select that circle, select that circle. Now that's our, the two circles are concentric. Now for the size of the knob, come up, sketch dimension, and we'll go with 1.25, 1.25 knob, and we will bring it 2 inches back. So actually wait, sorry, almost got ahead of myself. We need to do a second circle to the correct thread diameter. So I'm going to make the threaded rod disappear. I can get my dimension here for what our tap drill size is, and I'm looking at a diameter of 0.299, which means when we bring our threaded rod back, I will dimension this at 0.299. Extrude by hitting E, select 2 rings, bring it back to 1 inch. So it's going to want to do a cut, but again, this is going to be a new body. It thinks it's intersecting itself, but we will thread that, so it doesn't matter. Boy, that rod looks a little long. We're going to adjust that. Yeah. First time I've been accused of my rod being long. All right. New body. Okay. So what I am going to do, though, is page back through this work, and I can find where the extrude for that rod came from. Or I can click it, and it'll highlight it. So it's right here. Edit feature. I'm going to move that back to 1.5. Yeah, that looks better. It gives us less of a moment. All right, so I am going to do another sketch on this face to help reduce that. Now I could do my sectional, bring it all back so I can see what I'm doing, but this is going to be quick and dirty. Circle, circle. We're going to bring that out to 0.875. Yeah, that looks a little big. Again, I'm making this up as I go. 0.75. That looks better. E to extrude. Select this circle. Extrude it back. We will go back negative 0.375. Enter. So the reason I extruded that back is so that now I can create a hole right here that goes through this rod and that. We can put a roll pin in there to secure them together. So body 6 is knob. Oh, I love English. It makes so much sense. All right, so to put a hole on the side of this, it is going to be difficult to select the plane, because if we hit create sketch, it's going to not let me pick a circle because obviously it is not a plane to start on. There are several ways to do this. There's the quick, easy way for doing holes, which I can show you real quick. So we'll hit sketch, and then we will pick the origin plane down here. Once we pick the origin plane, we're kind of out in the wind. We'll put a circle right here, and we can do a sketch dimension from this face to that circle. 0.375 divided by 2 is a quick, easy way to find center. Since I know that that's 375, let's put that on center. 0.125 for a 1/8 through hole, and it still wants it on the y-axis. So I know from here to the center of this rod is 1/2 inch. So I can extrapolate a 1/2 inch from there, hit E to extrude, and just run a hole all the way through. Maybe not the best way to do it, but it sure works. Yeah, I am going to change that down from a 1/8 hole though, because with a pin that big, it definitely is going to reduce the strength of that 3/8 rod. So I can go down here, edit feature, bring that down, or sorry, cancel, edit sketch, bring that from 1/8 to 0.087. That looks better. All right, so we can drive a pin through there and secure the handle. That is everything we need to do to design our vise. Obviously, this was a very basic tutorial on how to do things in Fusion. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. Or if you're one of the people that I was making this video for in the shop who kept asking me questions, you can ask me another question in the shop. All right. The next series of videos will be on programming this for the cam cycles. Hope you enjoyed watching that, and hope you'll enjoy watching the cam videos as well.